Is it any wonder my legion has so little love for you? So tell me this, because I really want to know. I am feared, with good reason, but you, of all people, dare to come here and stand before me, the mighty 𝐏𝐍. What were you thinking? And you fell for that? Really? Because I'm going to have you killed now. Relax. I'm fucking with you. My family lived not far from the great boneyard. After raiders killed my father, my mother sought the followers' protection. I was 2 years old. She found work at their library, cooking and cleaning. I learned how to read, and soon I was taking courses, free of charge. Oh yes, raised in that tradition. And the teaching stuck. I was taught it was my responsibility to bring the torch of knowledge to the waste. I may have taken the torch part more literally than they intended. When I was 20, the followers sent me east to Grand Canyon. It was my first expedition. My assignment was to learn the dialects of the Grand Canyon tribes. What a fucking waste of time. Anyway, we met up with a Mormon missionary who already knew a bunch of dialects, Joshua Graham. He was supposed to teach me, but before that went too far, the Blackfoot tribe captured us to hold us for ransom. They were a backward bunch, but the real problem was they didn't know how to fight. The Blackfoot were at war with 7 other tribes, each just as pissant as they were. But outnumbered like that, they weren't going to last long. So over Calhoun's objections, I decided to take certain steps. They looked at me like I was some kind of a sorcerer. So I taught them how to make explosives and started drilling them on small unit tactics. If there's anything I learned as a follower of the apocalypse, it's that there's a lot of good information in old books.
Back then he was just Edward. Smart man. Young, but we all were. We thought we could hike into the Grand Canyon and talk to Blackfoots. We did. And the Blackfoots were friendly enough at first. But eventually, I've thought back to that day so many times. I must have mistranslated.
𝑑𝐎𝐿 et impera, divide and conquer. I led the Blackfoot against the Ridgers, their weakest enemy. When they refused to surrender, I ordered every man, woman, and child killed. When next we surrounded the 𝐏𝐍𝒏𝒚, and they likewise refused, I took one of their envoys to the Ridgers' village and showed him the corpse piles. This was new for the tribes, you see. They played at war, raiding each other, a little rape and pillage here, a little ransoming there. I showed them total warfare. Like I said, there's a lot you can learn from old books. 𝐏𝐍𝒏𝒚s joined me, and the Fredonians after that. All the pissant tribes with names that should be forgotten. I knew from the start I'd need to eradicate this plague of tribal identities, replacing them with a monolithic culture, a uniform identity. So that's what I did once my confederation of tribes was large enough. I crowned myself 𝐏𝐍𝒏 and created a single great tribe, my legion.
He decided he could remake the tribes of the Southwest whether they wanted it or not. The Blackfoots don't exist anymore. Just like any other tribe, they get swallowed by the Legion. Caesar takes the tribal out of the tribe. Scrapes and burns off tattoos, breaks up families, forces mixed breeding so all the old loyalties die away. The only tribe in the Legion is the Legion. Caesar is the chief, father, and god, all rolled into one.
When I was a boy, the Legion conquered my tribe. I was chosen for training as a legionary. The girls and women were enslaved, and many of the men and boys were also chosen to become legionaries. The rest were killed. We were savages. The Legion raised us up, made us better than what we were.
My Praetorians embody the martial ideals of my legion. Each one of them has done enough conquering and killing to deserve the rank of centurion. Instead, I invited them to join my guard. So the invitee chooses whichever current guard he thinks is weakest and challenges him. The fight is to the death. It keeps them from getting complacent.
There's no real equivalent to them in the NCR. Centurions are battle-born elite officers who earn their rank with blood and sweat. Caesar's elite guard. They travel with him wherever he goes. A bit of insurance in case any of his guests get funny ideas.
Lucius has been the head of my guard for 5 years now. He was a subordinate guard for 8 before that. No invitee has dared to challenge him yet.
I fought in many battles for the Legion. Eventually, 𝐏𝐍 chose me to lead his Praetorian Guard. It was a great honor. 𝐏𝐍 has taught us that over-reliance on firearms can only weaken us in the long run. It's why we train heavily with our blades and our fists. Unlike an NCR trooper, a legionary is always ready to fight, regardless of the circumstance he finds himself in.
Their men, however, are typically quite large, in phenomenal condition, and prefer close-quarter weapons. Yes, extremely so. They must use conditioning routines on par with the Rangers or better. Their soldiers can run near half again as fast as my best men, and close distances with frightening speed. And they're as strong as they are fast.
Oh, I don't know if you recognize me from the strip, when I handed you the mark of 𝐏𝐍. I wasn't wearing a dog's head at the time.
Infiltration, assassination, dramatic atrocities to break the spirit of the enemy, etc. They're mentally flexible. They operate behind enemy lines for extended periods, imitating the enemy's customs without becoming sullied. In all these things, Vulpes is a master.
Don't worry. I won't have you lashed to a cross like the rest of these degenerates. It's useful that you happen by. I want you to witness the fate of the town of Nipton, to memorize every detail. And then, when you move on, I want you to teach everyone you meet the lesson that 𝐏𝐍𝒍's legion taught here. Where to begin? That you are weak, and we are strong? This much was known already, but the depths of your moral sickness, your disillusion? Nipton serves as the perfect object lesson. The people here didn't care. It was a town of whores.
Vulpes is the best of my frumentari, a remarkable individual from an unremarkable tribe south of the Utah. He was brought into the Legion as a boy, survived training, fought well enough as a legionary to be promoted to the rank of decanus. Then in battle against an unimportant tribe, he broke ranks and led his 𝐏𝐇𝐎𝐍𝒚 through a hole in their defenses to capture its chieftain. Well, its Centurion wanted him crucified for disobedience, so I made him a frumentari.
For a pittance, the town agreed to lead those it had sheltered into a trap. Only when I sprang it did they realize they were caught inside it too. I told them their sins, the foremost being disloyalty. I told them that when legionaries are disloyal, some are punished, the others made to watch.
Dekimatio. It means decimation. But in ancient Rome, the word had a very specific meaning. A punishment for cowardice. The legionaries are lined up in ranks. Every 10th man steps forward and is beaten to death by his brothers. It instills a certain robust obedience.
And I announced the lottery. Each clutched his ticket, hoping it would set him free. Each did nothing, even when loved ones were dragged away to be killed. Indeed, our hounds demonstrate greater loyalty to each other every day than the wretched inhabitants of this town. Ha! Innocent. Hardly. They stood and watched as their fellows were butchered, crucified, and burned. One by one, they stood and hoped their turn would not come. Each cared only for himself. Cowardly, though. They outnumbered us, yet not once did they try to resist. Yes, they did. As will all the rest of you, in due time. Now go, and teach what you've learned here. There will be more lessons in the days ahead. You're unusually bright for a profligate. Well done. Do whatever 𝐏𝐍𝒍 tells you to do. And whenever the opportunity presents, strike at the profligates. Pile body upon body. Butcher them.
That's right. Decades of warfare, absorbing lesser tribes, gathering power, forging the dross into a vast, razor-sharp scythe. My legion's expansion has never ceased. Much of the Utah and Colorado and all of Arizona and New Mexico are mine. We have cities of our own, but nothing compared to Vegas. Finally, my legion will have its Rome. Ever since losing its queen, the NCR has been weaker, more diffuse. Democracy has been its weakness, not its strength. Greed runs rampant. The government is corrupt. accepting bribes from Brahmin barons and landowners to the detriment of citizens. The NCR is a loose conglomerate of individuals looking out for themselves. It's lost virtue. No one cares about the collective, the greater good. It's not built to last. I'm just hastening the inevitable. Of course, the most powerful my legion has faced. Also the first to which I am ideologically opposed. Until now, every tribe I've conquered has been so backwards and stunted. Enslavement has been a gift bestowed upon them. My conquest of the Mojave will be a glorious triumph, marking the transition of the Legion from a basically nomadic tribe to a genuine empire. Just as my namesake campaigned in Gaul before he crossed the Rubicon, so have I campaigned and will cross the Colorado.
𝐏𝐍𝒍's will is the will of the Legion and the West. All beneath the flag of the Great Bear exists to test the strength of the Legion. The West shall fall as the East fell, and all the tribes that stretch to the setting sun shall bear the mark of the Legion. We shall see how brave you are when nailed to the walls of 𝐏𝐿𝐷, your body facing west so you may watch your world die.
Lanius is the greatest of my battlefield commanders. Some might call him a great man, but I'm not sure he qualifies. Once, he was the greatest warrior of the 𝐏𝐷, a tribe of the Arizona. Maniacal in battle. Sometimes he'd ambush Legion patrols by himself. When after several months we found and surrounded the 𝐏𝐷's camp, their chieftain raised a banner of surrender. The warrior, who was not yet Lanius, went insane with rage. He struck down his chieftain and attacked his own tribe.
I shall make a cape of your skin, and your skull, it shall sit by my side, mute, watching as my armies march west.
He killed 15 before they brought him down. He didn't die, obviously. I had him tended to. He was maimed, most of his face torn off. It was days before he regained consciousness. When he did, I went to his bedside and showed him the helmet I'd had forged to cover his face. I said he could have it if he'd fight for me. He accepted, on condition that he be allowed to kill the surviving males of his tribe. I said, make it the adult males, and you have a deal.
The West's treatment of bitches such as you is their weakness. Woman of the West, you will learn your place in my tent, and again when you beg for release on the edge of my blade.
Lanius is savage. Savagely loyal too, but only to me. He has no love for my legion. But this has its uses. He has no attachment to his men, no compunction about battlefield losses. All he cares about is destroying the enemy. When another legatus or a centurion fails to achieve results, I send Lanius to make things right. His first step is to beat the failed commander to death in front of his assembled troops. Then he orders the ritual of 𝑑𝐎𝐻𝐿.
Now I am here, and make markers of your people as the Legion carves its way west.
Yes. This time my legionaries will be more frightened of the commander behind them than the enemy before them. There will be no failure this time, no retreat, no years of gathering slaves and resources for another assault. With Lanius to drive the Legion forward, the dam will be taken. It will be our bridgehead across the Colorado.
The victory here shall be swift. Our forces shall take the dam, secure it, then build a road west on the bodies of the NCR. The East will hold. Once across the Colorado, nothing to rival 𝐿𝐷 remains.
I've never once seen a single one of them back down or disobey an order. They'll happily charge a fortified position with little more than a sharpened stick if ordered to, and do so without hesitation.
The 𝐏𝐻𝐿 Lanius, monster of the East. Quite a man, if man he be. 𝐾𝐍𝒍 prides himself on selecting the right tool to overcome each new obstacle. In Lanius, he found his hammer. He's never been defeated in battle. 14 tribes have laid down arms at his boots. Another 5 rendered extinct. His latest campaign in the wilds of Utah has concluded, and he is en route. When he arrives, your doom arrives with him.
Our roads into NCR are hung with the bodies of those who attempted to negotiate with us. Save your speeches. We will take 𝐿𝐷 the dam and move forward until our feet crush the setting sun beneath them.
People say he's enormous, carries a big sword, chops people's heads off. That's not what makes him a good commander, though. Folks say he came from a heck of a tough tribe. Took Caesar a long time to conquer. It was thanks to Lanius. But once Caesar broke him, he was born again. He'll go anywhere and do anything to win. Legion says he could smell weakness. Once he finds out where an army's vulnerable, he'll go to it like a dog for the throat.
The Legion will swell with the number of slaves we will claim from this place, and the tribute we gather will fund further campaigns. Perhaps in time I will be granted the honor of conquering the land known as California.
Lanius, the butcher, monster, terror of the East. Not even his slaves have seen his face. Struck them blind so they can't. Wears a mask. Don't even know if it's the same man. He put Colorado to the sword. Broke the hangdogs by throwing their hounds upon the flames, so they might burn forever in the afterlife.
The weak must die. Death to profligates!
A warning, though. The legate Lanius, whether 𝐏𝐍 stands or not, Lanius will come. Lanius carries all the terrors of the East with him. He's the myth, the weapon the Legion needs. When he arrives, he'll fall on Hoover Dam like a hammer. Break the bear in two.
Our warriors will wash over them in a tide of blood, severing arms before they can attack, legs before they can run, and heads before they can pray.
How do I put this basically enough? It's a philosophical theory, the kind you might encounter if you took time to read some books. The fundamental premise is to envision history as a sequence of dialectical conflicts. Each dialectic begins with a proposition, a thesis, which inherently contains or creates its opposite, an antithesis. Thesis and antithesis. The conflict is inevitable, but the resolution of the conflict yields something new, a synthesis, eliminating the flaws in each, leaving behind common elements and ideas. The bombs wiped the slate clean. Human civilization descended to a level of ignorance that effectively set our cultural progress back to zero. The NCR has all the problems of the ancient Roman Republic: extreme bureaucracy, corruption, extensive senatorial infighting. Just as with the ancient Republic, it is natural that a military force should conquer and transform the NCR into a military dictatorship. Thesis and antithesis. The Colorado River is my Rubicon. The NCR Council will be eradicated, but the new synthesis will change the Legion as well, from a basically nomadic army to a standing military force that protects its citizens and the power of its dictator. I don't have to explain the reasoning behind my commands. I just give them and you do them. That said, every once in a while I hear something so ignorant I have to respond. This is one of those times. The profligates' morale is in the shitter. They've occupied the Mojave for years, getting picked off one by one.
We were on patrol near the dam when a Legion raiding party jumped us. Didn't even have time to radio it in. I was hit in the head with a machete and knocked out. Didn't kill me, though some nights I wish it had. When I woke up, my nerve was gone. The rest of my squad was crucified, butchered, mutilated. I don't know how they missed me. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they knew they'd broken me.
This is a message to the NCR from the Legion. We are coming for you. Run, and we will catch you. Hide, and we will find you. No matter what you do, you are all going to die. We took one of the women alive.
Word is that the Legion's old-timers have shown up. Caesar's veterans from the Red Oaky Centuria, what was the Painted Rock tribe. They're the best of the best and the baddest of the bad. Short of a centurion or praetorian, they don't come any tougher. Take a regular legionary and age him 10 years. Whatever they lose to age, they make up for with experience. Life expectancy isn't long in the Legion. You live 10 years in Caesar's army, you're force to be reckoned with.
They were told it'd be easy. They keep being told that victory is right around the corner, that Vegas will roll over, become the sixth state of their little union. It's President Kimball who's been telling them that. When he dies, the enormity of his lies will come crashing down, the punchline to a bad joke. I know he's dead. I know he's no longer a factor. That's all I need to know. Losers don't matter in the history books. He's a fucking footnote.
Misdirection's what saved me all these years. It's what saved us at Hoover Dam. But it's been 5 years now, and Caesar's right across that lake. He's closer now than he ever was before. It's never gonna end, this fight with Caesar. People back home don't know what these young men and women are in for. The Legion is the worst enemy we've ever faced.
The Legion is civilization reborn. Our culture is based on virtues such as martial excellence, loyalty, and justice. He's a man of towering intellect, the founder of the Legion, conqueror of 86 tribes. 𝐏𝐍𝐍 is the salvation of mankind. His Legion, the rebirth of civilization in a benighted age.
They're my best customers. As long as you don't try to sell them chems or alcohol, they treat you fair. Hell, I don't even need to travel with guards most of the time in Legion territory. All the bandits are dead or run off.
I used Imperial Rome as the model for my Legion precisely because it was so foreign, so alien. I'd seen what had become of the NCR's attempts to emulate the culture of pre-war America, the infighting, the corruption. It dedicated its citizens to something higher than themselves, to the idea of Rome itself. In Rome, I found a template for a society equal to the challenges of the post-apocalyptic world, a society that could and would survive. Rome was a highly militarized autocracy that effectively integrated the foreign cultures it conquered, a society that could prevent mankind from fracturing and destroying itself in this new world by establishing a new Pax Romana. It means a nationalist, imperialist, totalitarian, homogenous culture that obliterates the identity of every group it conquers. Long-term stability at all costs. The individual has no value beyond his utility to the state, whether as an instrument of war or production. No, I'll destroy it because it's inevitable that it be destroyed. It's Hegelian dialectics, not personal animosity. In hoc signo torus vinces.